We're going to be looking at today, again, Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 30. And I made a video about this where Rabbi Singer, he's notorious for doing this. He'll put up something that he'll say, oh, this is a verse from the Tanakh. And then he'll say, it's Leviticus 18:30. And then he will give you these words and say, okay, these words belong to Leviticus chapter 18, verse 30. But he doesn't tell you which Bible he's using. Which Bible, which verse, which Tanakh, who wrote it, when was it published, where can I buy it, where can I see it? He does not tell you where he's getting his information from. Now, I have an issue with this. I'm a university graduate. I'm going back for postgraduate studies. I've written a book. I'm a university marker. I mark papers at university. And one of the fundamental basic things that students have to do is that if they quote a book, if they quote somebody from a book, they have to cite that book in their paper. They have to tell the professor, they have to tell the marker, oh, here's a quote. Bill Gates said it in 2007 at such and such a conference. Somebody quotes something from the book. They have to say, oh, this quote is from this author and this book. It was published in this year. This is standard, basic, this is basic academic teachings. So when I started to listen to Rabbi Singer, and I disagree with a lot of what he says, when I started to look at it, I said, wait a second, where is he getting these things that he calls Bible verses? What Bible is he using? You can't tell me. Nobody can tell me. Nobody knows. I'm getting comments on my videos. People are saying, just trust him. People are telling me, start learning the Hebrew. Other people are saying it doesn't matter because he knows Hebrew and we can trust him and we believe him because, he has a beard and he's called a rabbi. I don't know why people are so upset with me saying, hang on a second. I would like to know which Tanakh, which Hebrew Bible, which Jewish Bible he is using. I want him to cite it. Citing a source is a basic academic, intellectual exercise. It's a courtesy to people. This is a quote, and this is the book I got it from. You can go and check it for yourself. It avoids mistakes. If somebody says, this is what the book says, I can go to the book myself and confirm whether or not what this person is saying is written there is actually written there. The Old Testament, the Tanakh says there should be at least 2 witnesses. So Rabbi Singer doesn't do that. And why does that matter? Well, Leviticus chapter 18, verse 30, if you look at this verse up on the screen, this is from Rabbi Singer's, one of his videos. Leviticus 18:30, notice he doesn't tell you where he's getting it from. So you're like, okay, I don't know where it's coming from. And then you read it and you say, and you shall guard my guard. And you read that and you stop and you say, what does that mean? What does that mean? Let me go to some other translations of the Tanakh and the Old Testament and let me see what those other translations are saying. Now, when you do that, you are going to find that no other translation that you can find is going to match what Rabbi Singer's, I don't even know what to call it. This thing up on the screen, Leviticus 18:30, he says it's a verse from somewhere. I looked at 25 other translations. And here's a table that shows you the 25 other translations for the part where it says my guard. my guard, Hebrew word that is translated, and Rabbi Singer says it means my guard. Okay, all right. When you look at 25 other translations of the Tanakh and the Old Testament, you will find these different ways of translating that Hebrew word. None of those 25 translations say my guard. Okay, most of them say my charge. 12 of them say my charge. Other ones are your commitment, my ordinance, my instruction, my instructions, my commandments, mine ordinance. And so when Rabbi Singer comes, and we're talking about eternal things here. We're talking about believing in God and going to heaven and having your sins forgiven. And if he's going to give me a verse, I think it common courtesy, intellectual integrity, to provide the citing of that source. Tell me, which Tanakh are you using? When was it published? Who published it? So now, with his verse, Leviticus 18:30, I'm not able to go to the original source document to see what it says in that book. Does it say my guard? Is that a typo? Is this what he really thinks it says? Now, let's look at some other translations from Jewish scriptures, from Jewish Tanakhs, and let's see how do they handle Leviticus 18 and verse 30. So if you look up on the screen, you will see Leviticus chapter 18, verse 30, from the Contemporary Torah, Jewish Publication Society, published in 2006, we read, "You shall keep my charge." All right, so the Contemporary Torah uses my charge. If we look at some other translations, we will see my charge, my ordinance, my watch, my charge. But again, nobody uses the phrase that Rabbi Singer uses. And I'm not surprised, because, the people that follow Rabbi Singer, a lot of them, they don't think for themselves. They just simply blindly believe and trust what he says. He said it. He's a scholar. He knows Hebrew. Oh, he must be right. And then a guy like me, I take a look at it. I say, wait a second. He's not telling us where he's getting it. I wonder what all the other translations say. Now, if you're a follower of Rabbi Singer, aren't you going to wonder why 25 other translations don't use the word he uses? Doesn't that kind of make you think, wait a second, maybe he's not the scholar that I thought he was? Why is he on one side of the fence and everybody else is on the other side of the fence? So if you know where he got this, what he calls Leviticus 18:30 from, can you please cite it for me? Can you tell me which book he used so I can go there myself and take a look at it to see what's going on? Thank you very much.